just occurred to me that when people get nervous before they speak, it's not really normal. It's a sign that our throat chakra is blocked. Another lie we're told by society. Just stay how you are. Stay fearful. It's normal. Before I begin asana practice, I really like to remind myself that yoga is not this practice of postures that I'm about to do. The asana practice is about using my physical space and my physical body in order to help aid my spiritual body. So asana practice is an important part of your spiritual practice, but yoga is a spiritual practice. It is not simply physical. They are intertwined because our physical space, our physical body, our physical space, the people that are in our lives, our surroundings absolutely affect our inner or our spiritual space. And so it's all has to be practiced together. That's Tantra a little bit. So yoga is actually your life. If you practice yoga, it's extremely difficult, but everyone should be doing it because that's why we're here. If you think we're not here to develop ourselves on a spiritual level, then you've been in denial. It's part of our culture to make that taboo to talk about. So my kid is screaming in the background at me right now because I'm trying to take some personal time. And this is yoga right now. My child drawing me away from what I'm trying to do. It's frustrating, but it's real. And this is yoga. This is the actual yoga and the work. Okay, so we're all here to do work. Every single one of us, not some of us and not others. It's a responsibility to all of us. And that's why we're here, this place. Yes, honey?
Something happened.
It's hard.
Yeah, something happened to the computer.
Okay. It is really difficult to live your life and live it in a state that you're aware of what's happening and that every single moment that we're living our life is our spiritual practice, is our yoga. That is what we're here to do. We need to yoke this spiritual realm, this world we're in, our physical bodies, the material world here. We need to yoke together with our spirit, okay? That's our job. That's why we're here. We're not here to go work some job in an office and make some guy money. Like that's so incredibly menial. Like, don't you see that? So the real thing we're supposed to be focused on is bringing awareness to what's happening and working on it and changing, growing. So yeah, people don't like to talk about this stuff because our culture has told us not to, because that's a personal thing and we don't talk about that. But it's not a personal thing because every single one of us is supposed to be doing it. And if we don't do it, we're screwing things up for our brothers and sisters. So yeah, that's what, whenever I sit down to do yoga, I'm trying to remind myself of this fact, and that we're not all supposed to be in denial of the fact that we're dying and that we need to do stuff. We need to do work right now before that happens, or we're just gonna keep suffering. So with that really happy note, we're going to come into a seated position if you're not there already, and start to feel the energy move through your body. Just make some gentle movements that you your body wants to do it this time. I tend to like a lot of figure 8 movements. I'm just trying to soften and loosen. Start to bring down that shield of embarrassment or whatever that we put up. That fearfulness. Begin to release that. The fear to be weird, what someone might think. And being weird is just being real. That's why people are uncomfortable with it. So let yourself get weird. I mentioned that this is all really hard, right? And when you're practicing asana, we're trying to line everything up. We're trying to put things back into place, into an order where they function with ease, right? So everything is trying to bring ourselves back into ease, not dis-ease, okay? Ayurveda's whole goal is to remove dis-ease, because when you are not at ease, you have a really hard time practicing spiritually. You are so distracted by the pain or the knot in your back. You're so distracted by all of your sensual needs because you haven't been addressing them and feeding them. Now they're distracting you, and now you can't practice spiritually. You need to bring yourself into ease. That is part of this. But our culture really fights to not let us. We are told that we have to be tired and sick and working all the time and putting that before our other needs, and then we are always in dis-ease. And when we're in dis-ease, we can't work on what we need to. We can work for the man, but we can't do our work. Sorry, there's so much talking, but I never really say this. So how many of you think about things and don't say them? We don't say the things we actually think. What is that? Why? What are we scared of? I clearly need to do some work on my throat chakra, I think. Okay, so alignment. We're bringing ourselves into alignment so that we can do the spiritual work. And we can listen and hear ourselves over the cries of all the other needs that we may have if we ignore them. And this is why the sensual body, the physical body, is part of this. Ignoring it is not part of it. It's not that that's the most important thing, but it is equally important. The mother is equal to the father. Mother matter. She matters. Okay. So the whole time we practice, try to come back to aligning your root, your belly, your heart, your throat, and your mind. Okay, all of these need to be lined up together. Again, super hard to do, hard to remember. Our bodies have been pulled so far out of that, so. you're gonna come onto your hands and knees. So again, everything is about lining up. So I'm trying to line up my wrist with my shoulder. And our knees beneath our hips. So making like a well-structured table that has support at the foundation. You don't want them crooked or splayed, you want them sturdily beneath. So again, we're creating alignment there. And then I keep my awareness in my tailbone a lot in this asana practice because that's the foundation. That's the true root. It's not your feet, which are really important pillars. They're part of the foundation, but the real foundation for me is the root. So drawing that, feeling an anchor there always, grounding, giving me the weight to balance through my spine. So as I rock here, I'm trying to bring my mind into my tailbone space, reminding me that that is my anchor. And then draw awareness all the way through your back, up your spine, and then through to your crown. And then when I get here, I start to realize that I have tension here, again near my throat chakra. There's tension between my ear and my shoulder, like all the time. So I need to be bringing my awareness there. And that's part of allowing my energy to flow through my spine and out my crown. And this, friends, is why yoga, when people say yoga, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible. It's just too hard. Yeah, it is hard, and it's not, but it's not about being flexible in your body or as flexible as somebody else. That's not what this is about. This is about your spiritual practice and how you need to show up physically too. This practice is meant for everybody. Everybody. Like literally your body doesn't stop you from being able to do yoga. You can do yoga when you are completely paralyzed and only have your thoughts there, right? But if you have your whole body and you can feel it, it's part of it too. You have to use it. You need to nurture it and use it too. So now you're gonna place your hands, your palms out a little bit. So we're gonna be drawing energy down through like that. So I turn my thumbs forward a little, and you can give a little stretch in your fingers if you want, and your wrists. And your elbows are gonna draw toward each other. So it's like turning my arm out a little bit. So I'm pressing down through my mat and drawing those arms toward one another. But then at the same time, I don't want to be pressing and extending so much that I lose control. So I'm trying to keep some control in my shoulder area too. So I'm pressing and I'm really engaged, pressing into the mat. But now I need to find some relaxation where I still am in control here in my shoulders. Okay, so I'm like engaging, but then I'm rooting back down. And then when I say root, I think of my tailbone. Is my tailbone ready to move into a new pose? Okay, so my tailbone is being pulled back, like someone has a string or an anchor on my tailbone. It's going back. And as I move back, I'm going to bring my head down between my arms, and I'm going to start to lift my knees off the mat. With my knees bent here, I can lower my head, draw my tailbone back in whatever direction my spine is pointing. Head down. And I'm gonna give a little press in, but then root in my shoulders. And then I'm gonna slowly bring my heel down as far as it's ready to go at this time. You would not believe the struggle I am having right now to, so this is resistance, if you've read Stephen Pressfield. Resistance is trying to stop me. Like, that's why I know that I'm supposed to be doing this right now, because to try to record these, I've never had trouble recording videos like this. Well, I have. It's usually when I'm trying to record a song and get that out there too. So I know this is resistance. But like the constant pull away, and now I'm having to go in and delete videos so that I can keep recording myself. I record videos all the time, but it's happening right now. So what is that? What is that resistance? What is that energy here that we've created as humans? We've created this energy that tries to stop us from growing and doing our work. It's so crazy. So yeah, I'm coming back. Where were we? So we were in down dog, and then we shifted our weight over our wrists. So our shoulders are now over our wrists. Again, engaged, really pressing down, but then I can kind of like move here. Okay? So you're trying to make yourself flat like a board in plank. So again, aligning your centers. So I'm bringing my root down. I'm kind of lowering it, feeling where my sacrum is, and then my you have energy here. It's where your reproductive organs are, your sexual organs. This is your creativity. So if you're feeling difficulty feeling stuff there, that's your creativity center. We don't just create humans there, create a lot, everything that we want to bring forth into the world as magicians, as mothers of matter. Okay, so we want to unlock that. So when you're in plank, try to align all of those places. Next, I go into my power center, your solar plexus. Do I feel empowered? And then move into my heart. Am I fearful here? Am I courageous? Am I leading with my heart? And then your throat chakra. Your third eye, your wisdom, your wise self. Your crown. And you're gonna lower down. So I pull my elbows in here a lot, and I lower down onto my belly. At any point, if I'm talking too much in a position and you needed to come out of that, probably, right? Just move into a position that is correct for you. Okay, pressing into my hands into the mat. I'm gonna lift my heart up and out a little more. And when I lift with my heart, my throat is also being exposed, vulnerable, but boosted, given some confidence, right? And I also shine my third eye forward. So my little dude just pulled me away from my little spiel time and my time for myself. But that's yoga. That is the yoga. That being pulled away. So when you sit down and meditate, you don't meditate for like 15 minutes. Your entire day is supposed to be meditation. It's so hard, and I'm so bad at it. Like, I am so bad at this stuff, and I know I know what I'm trying to do. So imagine how hard it is if you don't even know that that's the goal, right? How mindless you could be. because I'm actually trying, and it's so hard. So when you're meditating, you you're trying to keep bringing your awareness back to whatever you're focusing on. So if I'm focusing on nothing, my awareness is trying to think of nothing. If I am focusing on my breath, my awareness is trying to follow my breath the whole time, but we lose it so quickly. We just, our thoughts start to wander. But what just happened to me, where I'm trying to be here doing one thing, and then my little boy needed me and pulled me away. That is my practice. He pulled my attention away, and I have to keep coming back. That's the part that we do. That's the practice part. I'm practicing coming back, getting back on my path. Okay? So, as above, so below, people. So you have to always be thinking that in every moment. You're always trying to come back to yourself. So, coming back to where I was, which we were about to come into, we were in downward dog, right? So we planted our palms, we drew our arms toward one another, creating a nice sturdy frame for our crown, neck, spine to rest between. And so we shined our elbow creases forward. And then we also found some range of motion and support in our shoulder area instead of fully extending and straining. Okay, so my feet are planted, my knees are up, and I'm drawing my tailbone back. And then I'm going to move my feet. I kind of swivel my feet until they feel like they're the right distance for me. So there's a different distance here for everybody. Again, everybody different. So you find your distance that feels right, where you can rest your head in between your arms, and you can extend through your tailbone, and you can start to bring your heels down toward the ground. Eventually coming to both feet. And then you're going to shift forward, bringing your shoulders over your wrists. And what else did I want to say here? Oh, I'm feeling like the uneven ground beneath me, and it's just like I need to be aware of that and adjust for my alignment, my own alignment. I need to recognize what's uneven and not giving me a great foundation. So what else in my life might be uneven in my environment that's making it more difficult for me to do my job here? We need to take responsibility for our environment, the people that we're around, the things that we see and do. Take responsibility for that environment. Take responsibility for the environment of your body. Okay, so now I'm using Keith's phone, using my husband's phone, because I got cut off a long time back, which means I don't really remember what I've said anymore or need to say again or want to say again. But the silver lining to all of this is all these things that keep stopping me and pulling me away. I'm getting the sun coming up now, so I love the sun shining down on me when I practice. We were somewhere here, and we were raising our heart and our throat. You're using the muscles in your back. So you're rooting through your pelvis down into the mat, and you can hold yourself up with your muscles in your back. So your back muscles are doing most of the work here. You can support and give a little bit extra lift with your elbows in and pressing down into your mat. And then I use that to lift myself a little further. And turn back, side to side. Your little stretch, and then you're gonna tuck your, I don't know what I've taught already, so it's fine. I'm just gonna move through it again. You're gonna tuck your toes in the back, and you're going to lift back into plank, and then bend those knees, and leading with your tailbone. Remember, there's something tied to the end of your tailbone, and it's pulling you back and out. And take some time here in downward dog. So you're pressing through your arms, you're putting your head in between your arms. Your knees are bent and you're really just like feeling into things back there. One heel down at a time. Rock your hips side to side. Just get into your body. That's what the asana part of your practice is bring your awareness into your body now. You can learn there just like you can learn out here, right? Into your body. Just awareness wherever you are. That's what yoga is. And then you can come back into plank, and you're gonna bring your right foot in between your arms, in between your hands. First, I focus on my pelvic area. I always go to your root. Again, the root being your pelvis. Always go there first, and I lift there. So I have space and lift, and then I can focus on my back leg being straight and engaged, but still a little bend in the knee. The bend in the knee is always the safer route, and you have more stability there because you can actually engage your muscles that way. And then I come here, putting my ankle below my knee. So right below. You don't come forward. I see so many people do this. You're making a right angle this way. So ankle below the knee, not the knee in front. The knee back would be better, way better than going forward, okay? But trying to stack it, creating a strong foundation and alignment, okay? And then I can start to bring myself up, but I need to bring awareness to my root again. Am I centered? Is my tailbone drawing down toward the ground, or is my pelvis tipped forward and my spine is too curved? I don't want that. I want to draw my tailbone down, not bring it in like I'm a scared little puppy. Don't do that either. Not bringing the tail between your legs. You're bringing it down. You're letting it feel heavy and weighted and grounded, okay? Then I can move up into my creative center. Do I feel safe to express myself? So on. All the way up, aligning. And then I'm going to turn my back heel down. And I'm doing a ton of talking today. It's just what's happening. So if you're in a posture and I'm talking and you're getting really sore, just come out of it, do something comfortable, but try to remember where we were so you can come back into it. But I guess I'm just explaining things today. So your right heel is going to line up with your left heel in the back. So I'm moving my feet in micro movements. I'm moving them to line up my front heel with my back heel. Those are in line. And then once once that's lined up, I can angle that back foot forward a little bit, because now I'm wanting to bring my my right hip back. This is extremely difficult. I'm not here yet. Okay, I'm working on where I am. And take the sweater off now. Such a professional video. Bringing my right hip back and my left hip forward, trying to have them toward you. And then I can come back into my lunge. Again, knee never going past the ankle, just on top. And then I need to adjust my back foot. You're always making these adjustments. If you're not making adjustments, I don't think that you are aware in your body. You're not present with what your body is telling you. So you should be making all these little adjustments, in my opinion. Okay. And when you're here and you're centered, now you have freedom in your arms because you're supported. So now you have free here. All this can be free. I can express myself now because I can breathe. I can express myself. I'm supported all through here. I know that my creativity is open. I have things to share. I know that I'm safe and secure, despite our culture trying to make us constantly feel like we're not. Fear, scared. Don't watch the news. Okay. Now that I'm free up here, I can express myself however I want. You can bring your arms out, up overhead. You can relax through your shoulders and your neck. And then when you're ready, you're gonna spiral to the side. So, and again, if you've been holding a position for a while, because I've been chattering, you just move them, okay? So you feel some heat, you need to release. So we spiraled to the side. My front knee is still gonna be bent. It's still gonna be over my right ankle. But now I am shifting my foot, my front and back feet, so that I'm aligning my right heel with my arch of my back foot now. Right heel with the arch of my back foot. Okay. Then you're rooting your tailbone down. There's a weight hanging down, okay? My tailbone's going down, extending down. My hip needs to scoop in a little bit so that my right knee opens and stays aligned over my right ankle, because its need is to come in now. And then my back hip needs to open. And this is so difficult for our culture. We are so incredibly stiff and diseased in our root, where we feel safe, in our creativity center. We're very, very tight. So this posture is work. It is spiritual work for you. What your body says reflects what's going on at a deeper spiritual level. Okay, and so from here you can bring your arms up, and then you breathe because you're so comfortable. But you can find ease even when it's not easy. As long as you give yourself that strong foundation, the security, the release of fear, then you can find ease where it's not easy. And then you're going to straighten your leg. You're going to shift yourself forward, and you're going to bring your hand either to your shin or hang it down inside of your knee. Our bodies are different, so it's not necessarily going to be the same. And then what I do is I pretend I'm pulling a bow and arrow. So I start to bring my heart out here, all the way from this arm. So I'm rotating out. My heart is now out and trying to come up toward the sky. If I was a warrior and I was shooting an arrow, I would probably need to use my heart a little bit. So leading with your heart, and then you might fall. And that is part of it. You need to feel vulnerable. You need to feel okay being vulnerable and letting yourself take the risks, not being scared about what's gonna happen, okay? So do the pose and really get there and feel it, and don't worry about falling out of it or whatever, or not being able to do it, being like, this is crazy, I can't do this at all. Then own that and be okay with it, and it's fine. Do something that makes you think about the same things spiritually that whatever the posture was making you feel but you couldn't get into. It's okay if you can't get into it. Make your own in that moment. So, and use your body to learn from. Okay, so we were here in triangle pose, Trikonasana, and we were pulling and opening our heart, leading, having courage. Okay, we're opening our heart and then up to the sky. And you can look down or up here, whatever's comfortable for your neck. Feel that sunshine. Oh, and another thing I do here, I'm sharing all of my secrets. I drop my shoulder in. So the same feeling that I had when I was in downward facing dog, and I wanted to press into the mat and engage, but I also wanted to have control here in my shoulders. And in downward dog and puppy, those poses, I did that. I do that same thing when I'm in Trikonasana and I'm trying to stack this shoulder and this shoulder with my heart open in between. I am trying to drop that shoulder down and back onto my back body, so it's like relaxed above here, but then I also have to think about this space in between my shoulder and my ear. Okay, now I'm in gate pose on the other side. That's okay. Okay, so back to where we were. Do the pose that's right for you always. Turn me off, whatever. That's first and foremost. Take risks. Try to do the things that are hard or scary, or you're worried about failing and being embarrassed. Who cares? You care, and you need to start caring about what matters. Alright, Trikonasana. And then, oh, I was telling you about the shoulder stacking. Okay. And you can look up or down. And then from here, you're gonna bend your knee a little bit so it's safe and come out. And then you're gonna spiral down. We're going to open our hearts first. I like to pause here whenever I'm in this lunge and just think about opening my heart again. So starting from my root, secure all through my chakras, open my heart. Okay. And take a nice breath there. And then I place my palms down. I come into plank. I bend my knees. I lead with my tailbone. And I come into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha, Trikonasana. Play here with my heels. Everything is much more soft than it was. So I don't want to say flexible, like it's not a competition, but I've softened, and that was my intention for sure. And then you're gonna shift forward again, shoulders over your wrists. Your left foot comes up into a lunge. Again, you need to align your ankle under your knee, bend that back knee, find your center. Tailbone anchoring down. Then, once I've gotten a feel here, I can start to align my heels. I can come out of it for a second. I align my heels, left heel with my right heel. Okay. And then my foot is at an inward angle, 45-degree angle. And then I'm bringing my left hip back now. So I'm really exaggerating this for you. Like maybe I'm like way over here because I got my heel down and now it's pulling me all the way over here. But I need to stay on my path, and that's this way. So I'm going to bring my hip, literally grab my hip, bring it in. This one has turned a little bit for me, but again, this is a difficult posture. We are so tight through here, me including, obviously, and it's difficult. So I'm not there yet, but I'm certainly working on it. And then, so I'm shining forward. Now I can really try to engage through my back leg and straighten it out. I can come deeper into this lunge if I want to. Don't need to. You can come out a little bit. And then once I am secure and grounded, I can start to breathe. And I can feel all this ease up here. Okay? Express yourself now. It's like a movie line. You can be very strong. Root those shoulders. See the movement? What do you need to find in yourself today? What part of you do you want to express? All right, and from here we spiraled and we came into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2, and I align my left heel now with my right arch, heel to arch. Okay, and my foot comes out of that angled position in the back and it goes into a parallel position with the end of the mat. Okay. And then the more trickiness, because we're so tight here. What is it about our culture that we are so uncomfortable in this space? We don't feel rooted and secure. We don't feel like we have our needs met. We don't feel safe. I might have said that twice. So we're working on this space. And you're going to bend your front knee so that it's over your left ankle. You're going to bring your tailbone down, which will help to scoop that hip under, bringing this out. And then I have to open up through my back hip as well. And I literally grab my body and try to move it in the direction so it knows where it is in space and time, and that's important too. Okay, now we're in Virabhadrasana 2, and you can look forward and breathe. And from here, you're going to straighten your front leg. You're going to shift forward. If you feel any strain, move your stance so that you feel stable. Okay, if you ever feel unstable. So I tend to feel a little bit of tension in my Achilles tendon on this side. So that's why I bring my legs in a little bit, because I'm more stable that way. And then I can feel more relaxed and actually work when you are pulling yourself too hard or too much, you get all this tension and you can't actually do the work there. Across the board. What were we doing? Oh, we're going into Trikonasana. So we're still aligned with our arch, and I've straightened my legs, but I'm giving some, like, I want my knees to feel safe. So I'm giving a little bit of bend, making sure that I'm really secure here. Okay? Then my arms are gonna come up. I'm going to shift my weight forward. Maybe my hand falls on my inner knee, maybe I use my shin. But then this is where we lead with our heart, and do not be scared of falling back. You're just gonna catch yourself with your hand, okay? Not a biggie. And if you don't catch yourself with your hand, you're falling like 2 feet backwards. You're fine. All right, so I'm pulling an arrow. I'm opening through my heart. Now I have the sunshine to do it. And my gaze is following and my shoulders dropping. And then I breathe. And then I'm going to bend my knees and come out of the pose. Trying to remember what we did after that. Spiral back down into your lunge. Again, take a moment. Are you open here? Can you lift your hands off the ground? Do you need that extra support, or are you supported through your core? And then I'm going to come back into downward facing dog. And take a minute with yourself here. Go inward. Go into your bones. Go into your muscles. Meet yourself. I worked my legs for a while. Now I'm in my shoulder space. I'm really feeling, do I feel that security, that rootedness? And we're going to shift forward, and you're going to drop your knees down to the ground. And I'm probably drop your knees down. And then you're going to come back into child's pose. And this has lots of variations. I'm stretching my hands forward. Maybe you want to relax them back. I have my knees in right now. Maybe you want to get your knees out so you have more opportunity here. But again, if it's out of your comfort zone too far, then you're going to just feel tension, and you're not going to get any work done, literally. So find the spot that you are comfortable, but you can do work. So I have been working on this for a while, so my knees can go out and I can really drop down and open up my hips and feel comfortable and feel a little bit of that meeting where I need to work. Find the position that works for you, and it's different on different days. or moments. Okay. And you can put your forehead down. I take deep breaths here and breathe up into my back, through my kidneys and my back, up into my shoulders. You can rock your head side to side. You can just really melt your chest, melt your heart into the ground. Just do a little bit like you're a ball or a hedgehog or something. And I just feel, I don't feel pain, but I feel that meeting place, that where I'm on the cusp. Okay, and that would be where Ganesha sits. And I feel that place, and I just want to be there, and it feels so good to be working there. So it's a tightness all along my spine. And the more I round my crown in, the more intense I can make the stretch. I'm gonna come out, and we're gonna stop there today. I would usually continue, and we do some reclined positions and twisting. So feel free to do that after this, but I've done a lot of talking, and that's just where it went today. You can meet me next Saturday, where I will have another unplanned practice for you, and you can just take the ride with me. Never know where I'm gonna go. My thoughts. It'll be a surprise for all of us. But we will always close with a seated meditation. Seated meditation as opposed to moving meditation that we were just doing, as opposed to dishes meditation, which I'll do next, wherever you're going next. Keep the meditation moving. Mindfulness, keep your mind full, keep your mind full of what your intention is, whatever you're attempting to be aware of. Doesn't matter, literally, it just doesn't matter what you're trying to focus on. Just pick something and train yourself to be able to be steady there and not let the resistance constantly keep pulling you away. Or when it does, and it's meant to, recognizing it and be with it. Because if you're recognizing that when you're pulled away is part of your practice, if you're recognizing that, then you can find joy in that lesson of that moment and not get so upset at it. It's pulling you away into your practice, which is the struggle. And that was my lesson for today, to myself. And again, rooting through your spine, tailbone rooting into the mat, into the ground, feeling grounded. relaxing through your creative center. Feeling empowered and not threatened. Open and vulnerable in your heart. Safe to be vulnerable. Free to express yourself in your throat. Say what you want to say. Say what you're thinking, not what culture tells you you're allowed to say. Bringing your awareness to your inner self, your truest self, the self that knows. He knows who I am. And run through your crown. I get to feel the sunlight on my crown right now, so it really helps the sensation. And I can feel in line with myself. Literally in line with myself. And it feels good to be here. And when you're ready to come out of that, you can just move your head side to side, around. Relax your hands and breathe. If you can constrict the back of your throat to sound like the ocean waves, you can begin some ujjayi breath. Saturday in the park, I think it was the 4th of July. Just thinking about Saturday because it's Saturday and the sunshine is on my back. And I'm feeling a little more freed, a little more out of my shell. Softening. Bring your hands to your chest, hands palm to palm. Meet yourself in the middle. And namaste means the light in me sees the light in you. And I hope you see the light in you.